Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle.
There are bicycle races and there are bicycle races. But there has never before been a race like the one you'll see today.
Bicycle races are coming your way. So
It is called the Great American Bike Race. 4 distinctly different men. Men with little in common save for their love of bicycle riding, bent on challenging the existing record of 10 days, 23 hours and change for a transcontinental crossing on 2 wheels. The goal, to be the first to make it from the Santa Monica Pier on the doorstep of the Pacific Ocean through 15 states, across 2,978 miles of streets and highways to the Empire State Building in New York City. The reward for this grueling task, sheer satisfaction and little else. The Great American Bike Race, today on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sport.
Brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. By the 1983 Volkswagen. Nothing else is a Volkswagen. And by Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
When his client told him, give me that package overnight or else, I told him use express mail next day service from the post office. Is it fast, he said? Overnight, I said. Reliable, he said. They deliver over 70,000 packages on time every day, I said. And a 2-pound package is $9.35, about half what most others charge. Yes? It's your client. He says he got it. And you're brilliant.
What would you do without me?
Express mail service. We make you look good for less.
Volkswagen announces a new concept. Too much car for the money. Introducing the Wolfsburg Limited Edition Rabbit. Your choice of automatic or 5-speed stick with fuel injection, power steering, velour seats, and much, much more. This car should cost a small fortune, but now you can get this car for only $69.90. The Wolfsburg Limited Edition Rabbit.
To be honest, if you weren't directly involved, you had no reason to know about it. The Great American Bike Race began at the western edge of the Los Angeles megalopolis on the morning of Wednesday, August 4, 1982. It was the unlikely fruition of a dream that had lingered in the mind of a man named John Marino for nearly 5 years. A 2,978-mile bike race, the latest bizarre product of this country's rapidly burgeoning ultra-endurance cult. For a long time, no one had seemed interested in John Marino's dream, but now it was about to come true. Support crews had been assembled and prepared for the transcontinental grind. A cross-country itinerary had been painstakingly drawn. And now, despite the last-minute pullout of a soft drink manufacturer which had promised sponsorship and prize money, 4 men were about to set off for the long ride. This will be the vehicle. 24-year-old Lon Haldeman of Harvard, Illinois, holder of the existing transcontinental record of 10 days, 23 hours, 27 minutes. 27-year-old Michael Shermer, a college psychology professor who had held the record for Seattle to San Diego, but who had never before ridden coast to coast. Former Olympic cyclist and Ironman triathlon champ John Howard, who saw the race as an opportunity to enhance his reputation as the king of ultra-endurance events. And John Marino himself, who first set a record for this distance in 1978, and who had practically single-handedly made cycling from ocean to ocean something worth thinking about. Now they were together on a sunlit August morning and ready to embark upon a great adventure. I'm Jim Lampley, and as the 4 racers stepped onto their bikes, I stood on the pier with Diana Nyack. So this is where it begins, with Pacific Ocean lapping against the sand just a few hundred feet behind us. The predictably small crowd of family members, support crew members, friends, devoted bike freaks, a few curious passers-by on hand. The four cyclists poised and ready to begin pedaling with the target, the Empire State Building, only 3,000 or so miles away. Diane and you and I have covered some extraordinary endurance events for ABC Sports. This, I think, perhaps the most unusual and one of the most significant.
Jim, I've been with ABC almost 3 years now, and I've tried very hard as a professional not to bring up my past athletic career in swimming. But when I remember the Cuba swim and the hours of exhaustion, 50 or 60 hours, no sleep, specific pain in certain muscles, hallucinations from the exhaustion, and what I had to do with the crew to get them ready too. And I watched these fellas the last few days getting ready with their crews and the anticipation of the desert and the mountains and very little sleep. I suppose there are very few people who can relate to what they're going to go through as I can.
It was 5 minutes past 10 a.m. The mayor of Santa Monica provided the obligatory air of officialdom.
Mayor Koch, tell him the weather's better in Santa Monica. Are you ready? Ready. On your mark. Get set. Go!
The atmosphere would be almost festive as the necessary caravan of cars, camera vans, and motorhomes was joined by a dozen or so local bikers who escorted the competitors through the traffic of Los Angeles. In an abstract way, all of us who were along for the ride knew that there were likely to be 10 days of slow going ahead. But it was easy, for the time being, to ignore that.
When most competitions begin, there's a great moment of relief. All of the pressure of anticipation, even the fear of winning and losing is lost when you finally get a chance to get down to the hard work at hand. This race was different. There were so many unknowns ahead, even for the two men who had ridden solo across before. I'm sure that all of them wondered, even feared, what extremes, the elements, and the competition was to take them to. There wasn't much relief at the beginning of this race.
So the four of them made their way out of the L.A. haze into the San Gabriel Valley and toward the long hours of riding in the Mojave Desert. As they began to settle in for the long haul, it was with a combined sense of wonder and relief. Just a week before, when the original sponsor had pulled out, the race seemed to have fallen through. But then, each rider had scraped up $13,000 of his own money to make Marino's dream a reality. And now, against all odds, it was. By 10:28 a.m., they had traveled 7 miles with only 2,971 left to go. Middle of that Wednesday afternoon, Los Angeles was a memory, the desert ahead an imminent reality. One rider, John Marino, had already dropped back. His bike was acting up. He had been delayed by a long stoplight. Minor problems on the surface, but for Marino, harbingers of things to come. In retrospect, John Marino must already have been haunted by the question we had put to him and to all the others the day before. Why?
I think it's just the challenge of doing it, and people need challenges, and this is a question I always get asked, why? And I think